He'd come in with inflatable sumo wrestling costumes and just make some of the girls put them on and fight.
Hi Natasha, thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And tell me a little bit about yourself, your name and where you're from.
Natasha Lytton. I think I'm either incredibly exotic or incredibly boring.
Oh wow.
I'm born and raised London, so I've lived here pretty much my whole life. Apart from a little stint in Argentina and Paris.
And what are you working on right now?
Quite a few things, to be honest. My day job at Seedcamp keeps me pretty busy. Build products and infrastructure as a fund to kind of ensure that we're supporting the next generation of incredible founders. And then also my personal life, I just got engaged, so I'm planning a wedding in 3 months' time and a house in Lisbon. So yeah, lots going on.
What you're more passionate about, not counting obviously your relationship and your friends?
I kind of hate and love that word in equal measure. I think it gets thrown around a little bit too much. We're all passionate about God knows what. But I feel very passionately about creating opportunity for those who might not have had it.
Like helping others? Or?
The key I think in my role is how I can help support other people on their journey, and I've kind of always thought of myself as, a great number two to, like that COO type role to the founder. So definitely that. I'm obsessed with music. Like that's definitely a kind of very, very important part of my life.
And do you like to listen to music and also make music?
To be honest, I've never tried making music until the last few years.
I did find this though.
It was pretty much the first week of lockdown and we sat by the piano and I was actually just coming out of a very long-term relationship. And so the words came very freely because they were things I've been feeling and thinking, but they felt really raw and emotional to say. And also, you think about if you genuinely write lyrics that mean something, which I'd never properly done until this point, your life also moves on, right? So we're talking about now that I'm engaged and, in a very different headspace. So I listen back to this song that we put out just over a year ago, but probably wrote 2 years ago. And it's quite funny listening back because I feel in a different place, but it's also a very helpful reminder of, but that is how I was feeling. And
talking about music itself, what song would describe you the most?
Oh! The songs that I associate with or that I feel more about are much more the kind of like the 90s R&B.
Destiny Girls, like
Destiny's Child. Oh yeah.
Destiny's Child.
God, shame on you, Michelle. Destiny's Child. Love a bit of that.
I don't even know if there's a band called Destiny's Girls. I don't want to Google it.
It's like the support, the like replica act of Destiny's
I think
Child.
some bad porn channel probably.
Don't Google that.
I know,
don't put that in your browser. Do not.
You've seen a lot of CEOs along your journey, and what makes a good leader?
Such a funny question because it's always the kind of like, are you a shit fan or a shit umbrella? And I think being a degree of a shit umbrella and shielding people to an extent while also ensuring people understand like where the business is going and why that's important is critical.
Yeah.
But I think clarity and giving enough information which respects that people are adults and should be able to make informed decisions is important. I think, great leadership can be quite hard to actually come by, and I think most people grow into it. When you look at our portfolio and the 9 unicorns at Seedcamp, every single one of them, the founder is still the CEO of the business. And that's quite unique. And those things do start to change, right? Like at UiPath, the co-CEO has just been brought in to support Daniel at Wise, formerly TransferWise. Christo and Tabit sort of, swapped roles a few times, but Christo is still there and has been from the beginning in CEO. And, that will have evolved like massive shifts in their own leadership to be able to navigate the company from, that very early stage to where it is now.
Have you ever had to fire someone?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
it's never easy. And I also, in startups, it happens a lot, right? You have to hire and fire quickly because things move really quickly. And, there were definitely times when I joined companies and I'd inherited people who were incredibly well-intentioned, but if an entire organization is complaining to me about one person, then either there's a problem with the whole organization or there's a problem with how this person is delivering. So you have to be able to understand where is that coming from? Is the person coachable? I always, and I believe very strongly in coaching and investing in developing people, but sometimes it's been quite clear that they're just not. And the kind of what the organization needs and what they're able to deliver on are one and the same. And so you just have to have an honest conversation. And those things are horrible.
So what do you think of the guy in the box?
Oh, it's a controversial character, isn't it? I think he is very clearly a genius. He has demonstrated his ability to build amazingly impactful businesses across whole different variety of sectors. I fundamentally disagree with his belief in Twitter that it should be just pure freedom of speech and anybody should be allowed to say whatever it is they want, whenever it is they want. People don't understand the fundamentals of law and, accusing people when they haven't been convicted and what that means. And you can destroy somebody's reputation, and it feels really quite a negative place a lot of the time.
I agree with you. Twitter needs more moderation, and social media in general needs more moderation, not less moderation.
I agree, and I'll give you an example. So my sister's a journalist, and she wrote a piece recently about Russell Brand, and Russell Brand has a lot of diehard fans, and she was getting so much hate on Twitter, including accounts saying that they know where she lives and she needs to watch out. And I reported it to Twitter, and I found on this person's profile 5 other homophobic, misogynistic, racist tweets. And I sent them to Twitter, and Twitter's response was, this doesn't seem to break any of our codes.
Of course.
And I'm like, how is that possible? And how can we be endorsing platforms that allow for this? I think actually in Europe, we're doing a much better job in holding kind of tech companies to account a lot more, whereas the Americans I think are too scared of what it means to do that.
Tell me about the time that you made a mistake, a big mistake.
Oh God, where to start?
That's what everyone says.
I'll give you an example. I've never talked about this publicly, but when I left first startup I was at, we were growing amazing well, built a team, but the founder was mental and abusive, and he had come in with inflatable sumo wrestling costumes and just make some of the girls put them on and fight. And some of it would be genuinely fucked up. He'd create a fake email account with a picture of a guy with a gun and start emailing one of the girls in the team saying he'd seen her at a trade show, he knew where she worked, he was going to be waiting for her. I've always been quite, if I see something I don't like, I will speak out against it, but I then became the shield, if you like, for everybody else in the company, which was then, quite difficult for me every single day, having to battle like that with the guy. And, myself and my entire marketing team ended up resigning together because he tried to fire one of my team for not posting a photo on Instagram. Yeah, I regret kind of not handling that situation differently.
Not speaking up earlier?
I don't know what speaking up would have achieved. I didn't want money out of him. I just wanted, the investors and the people who, had equity in that business to take action. And they didn't until the company started not performing.
So you wanted justice? Maybe?
I wanted justice. 16 months or 18 months after I'd resigned, he called me, sort of trying to get me back. And I was just like, you're insane. And I think last year again, maybe last October, he messaged me again, being like, hey, if you're bored, I've got something on. And I'm just like...
7 years later? No, how long?
That was 2015 I left, so yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a long time.
And I was just like, did I not communicate clearly enough that you think this is acceptable? No, you are just genuinely a psychopath that you think that's okay.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I can see myself still doing something if not the same, very similar to what I'm doing now. I genuinely do love what I get to do every day. I think getting a bit deeper, what I'd like to sort of add in and my kind of push thing is I'd like to go a bit deeper with a few companies. I get to be a bit of a polymath across, you know, these micro bits of lots of different companies, but actually doing a bit more, whether it's taking on a couple of boards or, you know, doing a bit more advisory for a few companies where I think I can genuinely really add value and go deeper is something I'd like to do.
Would you start a business?
No, I don't want to.
Why?
I really love the early stages and I love the build. Being there at that very earliest stage where you're literally just backing really incredibly smart people with ideas and seeing what that can become is so exciting. So the idea of taking something and needing to grow it into, you know, a big company with hundreds, maybe even thousands of people, it's just never appealed to me.
What's the last movie you watched?
Oh my God. Do you know, actually the last movie I watched was The Little Mermaid.
Like the original one.
Yeah, the only one worth watching.
With the best songs.
And my partner was like, he hadn't seen it for about 20 odd years. And we kept saying we were going to watch it. And then I'd lost my voice. And I was like, I can't watch The Little Mermaid if I can't sing along. And then we're away. So we watched that last week.
If I open your fridge right now, what would I find?
I'm awful. I'm really not a cook. And go out to eat or order in most of the time. So.
Do you eat healthy?
I mean, like today, I definitely had 3 biscuits and 4 chocolates after lunch. But I did a workout and I cycled an hour, so it's okay. I think we could, do you know what, I think and I definitely took healthy eating a bit too far in my 20s and when I was younger. Like, I do believe, and I think everyone's very obsessed at the moment, like reversing aging and not having anything processed or intermittent fasting, this, that and the other. I believe very much in balance. I train every day, so I kind of want to eat what I want.
Okay, so we're gonna play a game and you don't have to do it on the first go. You can also...
He's laughing, he's like, she's already fucked up. Can I reverse?
You can.
I can literally just hear you giggling.
No, it's just because you're singing.
Oh no, fuck, hold on. There,
Get in?
I'm in.
Oh, nice.
Check the links in the description to learn more about Pop-Up. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.
So you came in today applying for a new job. How do you think it went?
Oof, well, I think I had good rapport with my interviewer. I think some of my answers could have been better prepared. Definitely felt a little bit on the spot and freestyling in some of them, but I reckon I'd rate my chances.
And what do you think of the boss? Do you think you get on well or?
Yeah, I reckon we'd be like having dance-offs in the middle of the day or, you know, like doing a little like lunchtime, oh, what do you think about this song kind of things. Yeah, I think we'd have interesting commonalities outside of just the work.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming in and best of luck.
Thank you.